The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
I'm vengeance. Okay, guys. Huge news today in the world of comics and entertainment and movies. Huge news. In case you haven't been paying attention, we got a Superman and a Lois Lane cast announcement made official today. Released. Everything released. Today. Earlier today. For Superman's Legacy. And I'm doing Let's Talk Pop episode 39 tonight, a special episode, because I'm busy tomorrow. I just realized the NHL draft is tomorrow, so I'm going to be watching that instead of doing this show. Usually I do it on Wednesdays, but since the draft is tomorrow, I'm going to watch that. I thought the draft was later on Thursday or Friday. I didn't know it was tomorrow, but whatever. Now my lack of hockey, paying attention to hockey. It's I shouldn't be. I'm Canadian. But yeah, okay. But yeah, we got casting news in Superman's Legacy this week. We got our freaking Lois Lane. And Superman / Clark Kent. And I gotta upload some pictures. So on my thumbnail, Superman is gonna be played by David. Let me see how to pronounce his name right. David Cornsweet. I hope I pronounced that right. Cornsweet. He's been in some stuff. He's been actually the pretty acclaimed horror movie Pearl, with Mia Goth. You might have seen him there. Also, I'm gonna send invitations to it. I just gotta announce this stuff out. Okay. Also, we've got Emmy award-winning actress from Marvelous Macy, I think it's called, the show. I haven't watched it, but I know it's very popular on Amazon. Rachel. Let me see her name. Let me make sure I'm not gonna botch it. Brosnan. From Marvelous Macy. She actually has a huge filmography. If you check her filmography on IMDb or Wikipedia, she actually has a lot of credits to her name. It's just that Amazon show was her big breakout role. So she's not really. I would say she's a little bit more well known than David Cornsweet among the general audiences. Okay. Now, my theory, why? So we got two lead actors, two of the most important characters in Superman Legacy lore: Superman and Lois Lane. Next, we're gonna definitely need Lex Luthor, and I wouldn't be surprised we get a Lex Luthor casting announcement later this week. Okay, because for the past few days, all the reports coming out have been saying Lex Luthor, Lois Lane, and Superman. Negotiating hang. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Lex Luthor announcement later this week. And I think Lex Luthor, the announcement of Lex Luthor is going to be somebody we all recognize. Who's going to play Lex Luthor? Somebody we all recognize. It's not going to be someone who is maybe known a little bit. This Lex Luthor is definitely going to be like a well-known actor. Right? That's from the sounds of things. Like from the sounds of things, from the reports of who maybe have done who've done auditions for Lex Luthor have done. Okay, and there's been a couple reports. There's Nicholas Hoult, but he's actually passed on Superman. Okay, Nicholas Hoult, and he's been passed on Superman and Batman. He was okay. Superman, maybe he was actually the runner-up. Nicholas Hoult was the runner-up to Robert Pattinson, the Batman. They were the two finalists. He lost out to Robert Pattinson. And there's been two brothers potentially going for Lex Luthor. Skarsgård, Bill, and Alex, the brother. Now, the brother's a great horror actor. He's doing more stuff. I think they want Bill for Swamp Thing. He's definitely getting a DC role. I really do think Alexander Skarsgård could be a good Lex Luthor. Because I think Skarsgård is intimidating. It's intimidating. He's willing to do the workout to get in good shape. I want my Lex Luthor to, not just sit there and just plan stuff and manipulate stuff. I want my Lex Luthor to get into action, man. Okay? Alexander? They're not going to use Alexander. They're going to use Lex. They're going to use Lex, okay? You got to use Lex. You can't use, like, the Alexander. You got to use Lex. Alexander could be the multiverse version of Lex Luthor. That, if you know from that story. Yeah. Okay. So we only got two so far. Now, the starting the film is gonna. Oh, Alexander Skarsgård. I don't mind my Lex Luthor being older than Superman personally. I always get the impression that Lex Luthor, even though in some incarnations he's around the same age as Superman, it looks like if you compare human years, but I have no problem with Alexander being a little older, Lex Luthor being older. I have no problem with that. Okay. Okay, I have no freaking problem with that. Really. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go long, guys. It is late. And one of my guests is going to come on. It's going to be very negative. I think it's the only negative person who is against this, besides the Snyder stands, crying in the corner. I think Blindness decided to, yeah, I think he decided to side with the Snyder fans. You're going to, you joined the Snyder fans. Here. This is why I put a disclaimer. Well, you're right, but if I was James Gunn and I'm running this Lex Luthor, I want Lex Luthor to actually fight too, man. Not just sit there and manipulate stuff. We need him to fight Superman. Okay? I don't know how. Yeah, Lex. Yeah, but you're acting like him. I'm kidding, Splatted. Lex is short for Alexander. Yeah, but the problem is, the problem is, you're right. But when people say Alexander Luthor, they think it's the son of. They think it's the son, not actually Lex Luthor. Okay, that's the problem. They don't realize that. Okay, you hear the Snyder fans say Jesse Eisenberg's. Oh, Jesse Eisenberg Luthor is Alexander Luthor. I'm like, no, it's fucking Lex Luthor. It's Lex Luthor. It's just a short. He's not the son of Lex Luthor. He is Lex Luthor. The Snyder fans don't. Okay. Okay, like the Snyder fans think Eisenberg says Lex Luthor is the son, is Alexander Luthor the son of Lex Luthor. They don't. They're stupid. The Snyder fans never read a comic in their life. Yeah, and Lex Luthor is arguably the smartest human in DC. Okay, I don't know, like blind. I don't know why I'm like. I mean, it's like it's that's the thing with Lex Luthor. I don't want my Lex Luthor I don't want my Lex Luthor to be Kevin Spacey, Jesse Eisenberg, or Gene Hackman. All they do is plan out. Well, yeah, they should do that. Plan out, manipulate everything, but to a point where he finally gets exposed for what he is by Superman, Batman, whoever, and get him to combat, get him to fight, get him that suit. Fight. We need to see Lex Luthor fight.
Because I wouldn't mind seeing that. I mean, yeah, we haven't gotten that, so in live action at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am the man with the most controversial opinion because everywhere I go, it seems like everybody likes his casting. I haven't talked to people outside, obviously, of what I've been seeing in the community because I'm more curious about normal people's reaction because I do not like this Superman casting. I like the Lois Lane casting. I think she's perfect for Lois Lane. I think she's a really good actress. And it makes me worried because I think she's going to run around circles around the guy who's Superman. And I've been saying that I didn't like this. This was a fan casting for years and years, like almost 5 years now. People have been trying to will this fan casting. And yeah, it's undeniable. I've seen people trying to say he doesn't look like Henry Cavill. Come on, like, are you serious? And then they're trying to say, well, that's what Superman looks like. It's like, come on, Superman can look like a lot of different ways. We know he has blue eyes. He's white. He's got, a curl in his hair. That's how Superman looks like.
He's not white.
Yeah, but no, I don't really care for this casting. It feels like a CW casting. That's what I've been saying. It feels like
the
CW.
guy's been in bigger stuff than CW.
He gives me CW. Well, he hasn't really been in anything big, if we're being honest. He was in a Hollywood. Was that is on Netflix, and then he was in Pearl. Yeah. And he dies in Pearl.
But Henry Cavill wasn't anything big either.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not really knocking on that. We all know they were casting an unknown actor. My problem is
always been like that.
This Superman, like, again, we need to see it, right? I'm just talking off of based on what I see, right? Which there's not really much. You can't really form much of an opinion. I just don't think it was an inspiring choice. That's really my problem with it. That's why I say it feels like CW. It's like, okay, like, yeah, he does look like Superman, but it's not like I'm like, oh, this actually might be interesting. It's like, okay, this is like pretty much standard, which in my opinion, I don't think is all that great. I don't really think, unless he was like a really good actor, then I would be okay. But a lot of the choices that there are, like all the top contenders, like I didn't like any of them. Like what's his name? Who was
the other ones are Tom Bryan. Never heard of
Tom. He also kind of looks like Henry Cavill, but he also looks like that guy from Umbrella Academy. I don't remember the actor's name, but he kind of looks like that guy too. And then there was I totally forget his name, but the guy who was also could have been Batman.
Nicholas Hoult. He doesn't look like Superman at all. He doesn't look.
Like He doesn't look like Superman at all. Yeah.
He doesn't even look like Bruce Wayne. Like,
I mean, he could have been. I could see him as Matt Reeves' Batman, but I don't see him as like it's just to be honest though.
You're right.
Yeah, but look at that. I feel like if we're going back and comparing Christopher Reeves, like Christopher, like
I don't know.
First off, Brandon Routh only had one movie, and I don't hate Superman Returns like a lot of people, but obviously didn't do very well. And Christopher Reeves kind of got stuck as Superman, and I mean, we mostly talk about the first Superman because the rest of them are
Well,
Superman 2 is okay. Superman 3, what the heck, and
and 4
Superman
was a joke.
is just a joke. Yeah, I don't
The
even
only
think
good
we
thing, the
should.
only good
We
thing
shouldn't
about
even be
3,
comparing
the only
this
good,
casting to them, in
the
my
only good thing
opinion.
about Superman 3 was seeing Richard Pryor in it. That's it.
I mean, he took up most of the movie. He took
Yeah.
up most of the movie. So yeah, I don't. I think that it just to me, I'm like, are people really gonna like? I see people, obviously, comic book fans, right? He looks like the character. That's why they're gonna get excited. But to
Obviously.
me, I'm just like, this feels, again, until I see his performance, I see a trailer. This feels like really more of the same. Like they cast the guy who looks exactly like Superman. Wow, that's really it. That's all we can really say.
I do
Most
like
of these
the
should be.
Lois Lane casting is good.
The Lois
Good
Lane
actor.
casting is good because she's a good actress, yes. And I think Alexander Skarsgård, if I had to pick between him or his brother, I will definitely pick him for Lex Luthor because Bill Skarsgård, I don't think that's gonna work as Lex Luthor.
I agree. Well, I said on the stream before he came. I think Alexander Skarsgård's a better choice for Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I think I would be okay if he, like, I wouldn't be so like polarized by that, because I am polarized by the Superman casting. I just don't think it's inspiring. I don't think it's interesting. People have been saying this for years now, that guy should be Superman, and well, lo and behold, he's now Superman. It's like, okay, like, it wasn't like Robert Pattinson. Like Robert Pattinson, you're like, okay, he doesn't really look like Batman, but like you can kind of see where he could be, and he actually is a good actor.
And
So it's like, you know what, this is inspiring. Let's see what happens, right?
We're seeing Robert Pattinson when he was cast as Batman. Everybody's, oh, my Twilight Boy,
Yeah.
Boy, without seeing his other stuff. He was trying to get the
Right,
stigma
right.
away from being from Twilight, right?
But I think it was
I
just
feel-
more of an interesting casting, though. It was just, and it
Yeah.
worked out. Well, this one, I feel like
I think
we're just going to get what we expect, which I don't think is a good thing, in my opinion. I know that's going to be like a crazy take, but I always prefer when they do something a little bit more creative and outside the box, and then we all go, oh, wow, that was the character. We just never saw it. And this just feels, again, standard. Unless he was a phenomenal actor and we already knew him, I wouldn't be saying this. But like, because he's an unknown and I don't really care for what he's been in, or not to say Pearl was bad, but like, it's not like he made like a good impression on me. And he's also kind of hams it up a little bit too, in that Hollywood show. So he's very like classic, kind of like I guess, yeah, in other words, yeah, he is Superman, right? Like even what he's been in with that Hollywood show. I mean, I remember when, again, this was back in 2013, but people hated the Ben Affleck casting. I thought that was actually interesting casting. That obviously never panned out because I've never liked any Ben Affleck Batman performance besides maybe the Snyder Cut, and that was like a reach. I don't even think he's the best part of that movie.
You know what? It was decent, at least in the Flash. At least, because you got to see him do a lot more.
I don't really care for his performance in the Flash, if I'm being honest. I thought he was like, I have so much other problems, but like his role is so forgettable. It didn't even like I don't even have an opinion on it. That's how like boring it was.
Yeah, I know. Like, I just wanted to say to some writers that not a strike. You know, so was a strike. We saw the Flash say Keaton's the best Batman. Keaton, I admit, was an awesome Batman, but he's not the best Batman because he's not the true to character of Batman. If you ask me.
No, he did pretty good as Batman. I kind of, like I said, I wish we got a third Batman movie.
Did he know in this movie he did not kill, in the Flash he did not kill any of the security guards, the Russian guys? Only Supergirl did.
Only Supergirl did.
You noticed that, right?
No, I didn't even realize. I thought he was like knocking them out.
He was knocking him out. Yes,
yeah,
definitely knocking him out. But Supergirl, well, of course Supergirl did kill because she was like first time going in the sunlight, not in control. Obviously, she's not in control of her powers, her abilities. So
Right.
She didn't know. She wasn't really in control.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I really, like I said, people like the Flash. That's fine. I'm not like too hot on the Flash. I thought for what James Gunn said, best comic book movie ever. I don't think I'll ever trust
he's
him
gonna say that for
just
Blue
based on
Beetle.
that.
He's gonna say that for Blue Beetle. You know that.
If he does, maybe Blue Beetle will be better, but that again looks
No,
like a
you know
CW
why?
show,
You know why it's gonna be say that for Blue? Because Blue Beetle's gonna be in the DCU.
unless it bombs.
That's the bumps. The director wants
Unless it bombs like the Flash, which would
the
be pretty
director
hard
wants
to
a
do.
trilogy.
But
The director really wants a trilogy for that movie. I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna get a trilogy.
no, I mean, like I said, I still like superheroes. I still read comics, but um, I don't know. I just maybe it's just like recently. I just feel like the creative decisions are kind of lackluster. I think, and also too, this was also kind of concerning. And I've seen an article. This same quote is now resurfacing, right? Because this is an old quote that James Gunn said. I want to say like a couple of months ago, where he was talking about how the third act of superhero movies have gotten stale. They're like, blue beam in the sky, bull crap. But yet he praised the Flash, which I think is really weird, really bizarre that you called the Flash probably one of the best comic book movies you've seen, but the ending is almost reminiscent of those blue beam sky endings that we got, were like the Avengers and Amazing Spider-Man and all that stuff. It feels like that, but just I guess like a different visual. I don't know how to describe it. I'm listen, after watching The Flash, I know this is only one movie, but I've been actually soured on James Gunn. I think his movies will be good, what he writes, what he directs. I don't know about his other creative decisions though. I really don't know. So I'm not really going to be hyping up James Gunn. Um, I'm not really going to be until I see a trailer for Superman Legacy. Even though yes, I did say Guardians of the Galaxy was a masterpiece. I'm not going to be hyping up Superman Legacy until I see something. Till I actually see it.
Long time.
Yeah, I'm MBU. I don't mind waiting a long time. I don't mind.
I mean, if the actor strike happens, and if the writer strike, like I know Jeff Snyder said October, but you can't really put a schedule on a strike. Really, there's like really no timetable for that. You can't really say that.
Well, it's definitely going to last throughout July and August.
Yeah, I think so too. But like, you never know. You don't know. Like, but if it does go in October, this could halt a lot.
That's going to be
stuff.
devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this movie could be start saved though, because this movie is supposed to start filming in 2024 January.
Yeah.
So if they get
probably is going to get pushed back, to be honest.
Yeah. If the strike is still going on to October, because James Gunn can't really write it.
To be honest, I think, and this, I think they're kind of rushing this. The Flash, I don't think people realize the Flash is a massive flop. Okay, this thing, I don't even think we even foresaw that this type of flop, right? This is like John Carter levels of flop territory, right? This is big. This is a big problem for Warner Brothers, right? And this is the Flash, right? It had the Batman. They hyped it up. They tried their best, and it didn't even. It's mind blowing to me what it's doing, right? And to be honest, if I was them, I would put this DC, this new reboot. They should put it on ice for like 5 years. Honestly, I think the 2-year gap between The Flash and Superman Legacy is too small. I don't think it's a good idea because now Superman Legacy, even if it's a good movie, is going to be wrapped up in the superhero fatigue, which I still think is true. Just because Guardians and Spider-Verse were fantastic movies, those movies in themselves are like, in my opinion, 5 out of 5 movies, right? Like these are phenomenal movies, right? So, which doesn't always occur, right? So don't really. I think they should put it on ice. I think they should wait, and maybe something might come out of it because right now I don't think DC is in a good position at all, and I don't think they should sit around and think Aquaman 2 is going to save them because Aquaman 2, I keep saying, is probably a bad movie, worse than The Flash, which I mean I can believe it now because The Flash is not that terrible. I just don't like the creative decisions in it. So yeah, that's kind of my controversial take.
Well, if that's the case, Degrassi, if I was an actor, if I was on strike, and one movie is telling me, if they're telling me that, oh, we're going to film this movie in this country that don't recognize units, if I was one of the actors in the movie, I'm like, no, I'm not going.
But where could they even go? Most people, like, where exactly are they going to go? They're going to go to like, they obviously not Canada and the UK. This has to be a country that's outside of the union's grasp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think that's going to look all too great, to be
if
honest.
I was an actor, I'd be like, no, I'm not going. I'm here supporting the strike. I'm not going. If the strike happens, I'm not going to film. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna be
messy.
It's gonna be messy, especially for these big movies, which haven't been doing well. I mean, like again, like we have to emphasize, like they just jammed all these movies together. Indiana Jones is gonna be another flop. I don't think people are realizing. Like,
actually, it's doing better than people thought.
It's doing right now. Again, this is tracking. We'll see it could be over 60, but still, this movie has a massive budget. And James Mangold just did an interview talking about how he's worried that this might be a massive flop, which he's probably right to worry about that because it's an expensive movie, and if it's making only 60 million.
Don't do the video game aspect.
Don't do the video game. The animation maybe, but don't do the video game stuff, man.
Yeah, that's just, yeah.
Don't do anything.
I know they're trying to be different in Marvel, but that's one thing they should take from Marvel is not to do video games animation. Marvel stopped doing video games like in the first phase.
They could still, obviously, they're still going to do video games, right? Rocksteady primarily does DC games. They haven't done anything outside of DC games. So I just don't want James Gunn to now go to Rocksteady, who's already having creative problems, and being like, make this video game in my universe. That would be disastrous. That would be rejected by the gaming community, to be honest.
Suicide Squad get delayed again because James Gunn wanted to change the game to fit his universe. Watch him say that.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
That's the Archiverse too. He wants the Archiverse to fit his universe.
and on top of that too, is he gonna shelve the Arkham universe to make games? People would also be upset at that too.
You'll piss off a lot of people. You piss off me.
I've been sour on a lot of this stuff. That's why I have been trying to watch other things. Because I'm not too pleased with everything that's going on. To be honest,
Rocksteady like takes a long time to make their games. Like, yeah,
I hope he realizes that too. I mean, he's made a video game which they're remaking, the Chainsaw Lollipop. I just hope he realizes like the video games don't take 3 to 5 years anymore. They take more like 5 to 8 years.
Did you hear about Elder Scrolls? We're going to go a bit of a tangent here. Elder Scrolls, they said it'd be like 5 or 6 years before the next.
Probably way more.
That pissed a lot of people off.
Well, people should know. I don't understand the gaming community too. A lot these communities that I'm in sometimes really annoy me. That's why I don't like claiming I'm a fan anymore.
Degrassi, Starfield is going to have a disc.
Yeah, it is going to have a disc. Which, I mean, if they announced that there wasn't a disc, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes. Because Degrassi was worried they were not going to have a physical disc.
The physical games are going to go away in like 5 years for consoles. Yeah. They really are going to go away because we're already seeing EA is going to stop manufacturing physical copies in Germany and I think in Brazil. Xbox doesn't do physical copies in Brazil. So and we just saw Alan Wake 2 is not getting a physical copy at all. and also it's going to be cheaper because of that. So physical games, I think Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, they're all going to push for that to go away.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Uh, this is a casting that was probably wanting to get out announced before the actors strike because they have no Comic-Con.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was listening to Campia's open mic. Actually, the last 10, 20 minutes of it, does he not know that Warner Bros. Is pulled out? Basically pulled out.
Well, HBO's not going, but did Warner Brothers outside of HBO say they weren't going? Because I didn't see that.
It's like it's like somebody asked a question, right? Nothing's
Right.
like, what's going to happen at Comic-Con? Campy says, if the actors go on strike, they're not going to have the actors come out on stage. And it's just be like James Gunn talking to a crowd. That's it, with nobody there. And James Gunn can't because he'd be representing the studio, and he's also on strike.
I don't. Yeah, he's also on strike. I also think you shouldn't even announce. Let's say if there's no strike, if James Gunn is going to continuously bury DC, I'm sorry to say this, if he went up there and announced the rest of the slate, just hold it back. What rush? This is like when these video game studios come out, like CD Projekt Red, announce games that are like 10 years away from release.
I hate that.
Who? It works for maybe in the video games it's okay because you're attracting investors and developers and you're hiring people, but for a movie, why do you need to? I don't understand, why do they keep doing this? Why do they announce movies years and years in advance? Stop doing that. It's
DC has been doing that, right? Warner Bros. DC has been doing, at least with Marvel before like this multiverse saga, they've been pretty good at actually meeting those.
And I know what Grass is going to say. It's shareholders and all that stuff, but they don't need to make a public display about it. I think that's what keeps biting them in the ass. If it's public information and you put it in an investors meeting, that's fine. But like when they hype it up, when you go on stage and you announce a game at E3 or you go to Comic-Con and you announce a movie, they got to stop doing that.
Well, hey, George, what would I talk about the actors going strike? What would I talk about on this?
Video games.
Video games,
or there's still some good stuff coming out.
There's shows, at least there's some shows. I don't know.
Yes. Black Mirror season 6, I don't care what anybody says, it was a great season. It was better than season 5.
I'll shit on Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I ain't gonna watch that. I don't even have the interest to shit on that. It's just it is what it is. Enjoy if people want to enjoy it. That's great. Right now, I've been watching. Even though I'm talking about superhero fatigue, I was watching Batman the Animated Series, which is still a great show.
You can watch it on the Teletoon Cartoon Network at midnight. Yeah, it's a great.
I'm watching it on Netflix. Yeah, it still holds up. Yes.
That and the Spider-Man show. I feel like
which Spider-Man show?
Oh, dude, from the 90s.
The 90s. That one I wasn't a big fan of, but
you know what I feel like. The Superman one from the same one as the Batman, right? On the Batman animation, the Superman animation.
Yes.
I felt like there's not enough episodes in that show.
The Superman animated.
Yeah.
I think wasn't it canceled like fairly early?
There's like 3 seasons or something like that.
I wanted to go watch it because I don't really remember watching as a kid. I remember watching Batman animated series, but not Superman animated.
Superman had a lot of crossover with other heroes more than Batman did.
I mean, I mostly saw Superman in Justice League Unlimited, which is a show. Yeah, that's the more I watch Batman the animated series. I listen. If the DCU Batman is like the Grant Morrison stuff, I mean I wouldn't mind all that much, but I kind of wish the DC movies were like the animated shows. I think that was the approach that they kind of we're missing, because it's like when I was growing up in the 2000s, there was a lot of good DC shows. And I think a lot of people associate DCs with their animated shows like Justice League Unlimited, Batman, the animated series, Young Justice, Teen Titans. Um, those were the ones I remember watching as a kid and enjoying. Um, and obviously the animated movies like Flashpoint, which that was also another reason why I didn't like the Flash movie. Is I think they should just done Flashpoint. Maybe you could cut out the Aquaman and Wonder Woman stuff, but it just feels like a weird. It's like what they did with Dark Phoenix. I don't really understand why they didn't just do a straight up adaptation. Like it's just weird. It's just really weird to me. Like it's right there. It's very easy to adapt. Realistically, if you read it, you're like, okay, yeah, this kind of makes sense if we put it in a movie. But they just never did it. They just kind of like picked and choose and mixed it around, and it's just weird.
No, it's a good show in the mid 2000s that I actually like. The Batman.
Yeah, the Batman 2 was cool. There's a lot of villains in there, like those Japanese twins. I always wanted to see them. Like in a comic or a live action.
That Joker was really different, but I like them.
Yeah,
and
the Penguin too was also. I mean, he's kind of classic.
Riddler was weird in that show though. He wasn't like red hair or anything. Like,
yeah, who else? Clayface was red. Was Clayface red? I'm trying to remember.
Was he the cop who turned to Clayface?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
and the Joker was like Jamaican. It was really weird.
Yeah, they had the hairstyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Robin kind of, it was weird because Robin looked like the Teen Titans Robin.
Was that Dick or was that Tim?
I don't remember.
That girl looked much older.
I think it was Tim. Okay. I think it was Tim, yeah. I don't remember if Dick Grayson was in the show. Or maybe that was Dick Grayson and I just don't remember.
It was a fun show. I mean, did you see the movie with him took on Dracula?
No, I never seen the one with Dracula.
Oh yeah, that's the Batman versus Dracula.
I know about it obviously, but I thought it was weird that they had him fight Dracula.
It makes sense. Okay. Bats versus bats, right?
I guess, but it just feels so random.
I'm not surprised Batman could beat Dracula. I mean, Dracula obviously is supernatural, but Batman's like. He's beaten supernatural people before. All he has to do is make fake sunlight that could kill Dracula, which he pretty much did in the film.
Right.
You could do that. Like,
but I think the movie should emulate those stuff and mix it with what was in the comics too, because like those were super popular. Batman Beyond was pretty good, and I did like Brave and the Bold. Brave and the Bold is where you had all the cameos. I remember like Blue Beetle and Shazam were on there.
It was really more kid friendly than like.
It didn't last too long though, from what I remember.
Batmite, man, I want.
Batmite was in that show too. Yeah.
Batmite needs to be in this universe.
Oh man.
Seriously, Batmite. It was hilarious. That show. So Batman's #1 fan.
But Batman the animated series, at least the first half of it, because first it was Batman the animated series, and then they changed slightly the art style, and then they called it. Yeah, I hated it too. Looking at it back now, it looks terrible.
Joker with no color does not work. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Joker design in the original where it's like very minimalist.
Yeah. I just don't like. He needs the color when they change the design.
Yeah,
I actually do like this Bruce Wayne better in the new design. He actually looks better than from the original. But
right.
Most of the villains, what they did to the villains when they changed the design, do not look good. I mean,
even Batman. I don't. Yeah, I prefer the original.
Scarecrow did not. Catwoman looked terrible.
I don't even remember Catwoman in the new animated one. Let me look at it because I completely forget. I remember Poison Ivy.
Yes.
That one was kind of like weird.
I did not like how they did.
Okay, Okay, I'm just typing on my iPad to
It was
look.
like they had like, that show had like 3 different titles, right? The Batman animated series, the Batman
Yeah,
Robins, and like the new whatever.
yeah, the new, yeah, that, the, yeah, it kind of was more like, and even Nightwing. I mean, the one thing I did like about Nightwing's design was the long hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, I
Right.
did
Yeah.
like that, um, which they kind of took away. Um, yeah, Two Face looks. I like the Two Face in the original one because it's like more exact. It's almost the same, but like I just like the yellow in his teeth and his eyes like super big, and it's like very.
Mhm.
It's very odd to look at. Like, which by the way, that episode, the two-parter episode, that was actually a really good episode
Which one?
with Two Face, the
He
origin of
becomes,
Two Face.
he becomes Two Face.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was good.
that was
Yeah.
a good episode.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, I see Catwoman. Catwoman just yeah, that's why I didn't remember. It doesn't even look like the the one from the original animated series.
No,
It
not at
doesn't it
all.
doesn't even remind me of Catwoman, to be honest.
No, no. The
It
original
looks like
animation.
Harley Quinn in a like the
Yes.
smile. It just I don't like it. And it's all just black. I don't like it.
I mean,
It's weird.
the original Catwoman wasn't really based off in that show. Wasn't really based off the comics Catwoman, but it was based off
Right.
actually Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. The
Right,
costume wasn't
right.
black; it was more gray.
It was
But
gray.
the costume
It
still,
looks 10 times better.
yes.
10 times better.
And she was blonde. She's like, yeah,
Yeah.
like
Even Mr. Freeze is just like generic
oh,
in the new one.
they did
No,
a
I don't
terrible
like
job with
it.
the villains. Like it's like
Yeah.
they didn't care. It's like, you know what? It's not put a color in the Joker's face. Okay, it's not have a green hair or like red lips or whatever.
He
It's
looks
not
more yeah, I mean like it kind of works for the Batman Beyond, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't even like to be honest, the one character design who I think is just terrible, like straight up terrible, was Riddler.
oh yeah.
Riddler was just awful, I think, in both of them. Uh, I don't know why they went with that look for Riddler. It was weird.
What did they just
I
Scarecrow?
don't want. Scarecrow was fine in the first one. I definitely
Yeah.
didn't like his look outside the mask, but it's whatever. Um,
It was Killer Croc was terrible too. You see what they did to him? And then
yeah.
I mean, Killer Croc.
Well, you know, also too. Now that I'm looking, the Batman's Riddler was also kind of funky.
He was. He was different,
No.
very different. I mean, the Batman, their villains were like different. They were very different incarnations of. Like they were really out there.
Yeah,
Like like the. Did you see? Did
but
you
it
know
just
that?
doesn't look like the Riddler though in the Batman.
No.
He's got like this, like the Robin mask, and then he's got long hair. It's just, it just looks weird, incredibly weird.
This is that. Uh, that Joker was highly like gymnastically skilled.
Right.
Yeah, I've never seen like a Joker that skilled before. You know, with the like, he's able to go toe to toe with Batman in a fight in that show.
Right, right.
Like, Joker has to fight dirty when he's facing Batman. He has to pick his spots.
Oh yeah, Scarecrow on the new one. Oh my God. Bane actually didn't change all that much, but yeah. Yeah. And they took away the green and Robin. That sucked.
Yeah, and they were supposed to have Hush in the Batman, but he decided no, decided to go to create a new.
They
Rumor.
kind of wish we got to see that.
Yeah, they created this villain named Rumors just for the show.
Right, right.
It,
That would have
apparently
been interesting.
they said Hush might have been like too much for the show. I'm like, why?
Well, now I'm really excited for the what is it called? Batman Cape Crusader.
Oh yeah, that's basically No,
Oh, is it?
This is a great film. Massive Phantasm.
Yeah, I might have to pick that up because I haven't seen that in a long time.
I know it kind of contradicts some stuff with the Batman animated series. It
Right.
kind of does, but it's still a really great film. Like it really goes in like detail about Bruce Wayne, about Batman, his struggle to be happy and to be Batman, because
Right.
right,
Right.
he
Well,
goes through.
you know what I like about the anime series though? It feels like every episode, even though it's very short, like it's a cartoon, like you could tell why this was at the time like so different because it's so character focused.
It
Like
is.
it's like it's not even if they're not focusing on Batman, like they're focusing on whoever in the episode, right? Like some of the villains, like even if they're like mobsters, and it's actually kind of interesting. Like they give them a lot of depth, and um, it's just it's very interesting. It's
Hugo
very
Strange.
interesting.
Hugo Strange is great. Yeah, Batman Part Two. I don't know. Like I think they want Hush too. I think he does want Hush. Matt Reeves does want to do something with Hush. The problem is I
Right.
don't know how you do Hush.
Well,
Like
I'd be curious to see. Like things have like completely changed in
yeah,
my eyes. Where I'm like now I'm like okay, I'm very interested in the Batman 2. Well, a couple of months ago, I was kind of like, if you're doing this DCU, maybe you should just scrap the Batman. But now I'm like, did a
no.
total 180,
Yeah, I could tell.
or yeah, is it 180? Yeah, 180. Yeah, I flipped
Yeah,
to
it's
the other side.
180.
Yeah, I always mix that up. One time I said 360. That
Oh,
was
that's going
stupid.
around. That's
That's going back in the same place.
that's going twice around, isn't it? So that
Yeah,
gets you back to the same place, right?
in the same place. Yeah. I don't know. This things always fluctuate and change based on my feelings most of the time.
hmm
So if like I said, I'll walk back my Superman take if the trailer is phenomenal and the movie's great. Um, I don't mind walking it back, but I still have my concerns. I don't think the concerns were. I don't think the concerns are ever going to be addressed until after Superman Legacy. So we'll have to see.
And the Mantis actress still going to join DC. She's going to join DC.
I think the more they talk about it, something makes me think she's going to be on the authorities.
Oh,
Because I
I'm
think
not,
the authorities casting is going to be the one that I think is going to be a lot more impactful. Like it has to be really good and
yeah.
uh, and this is the one where they can play around a little bit, right? Um, so I'm curious.
She's probably yeah. Um, yeah, but the Batman stuff, he did say in a tweet today to replying to a person on Twitter said the Batman casting is of miles, not the Batman, Batman for DCU for Brave and the Bold, it's miles away.
Right,
I kind of knew that because they did announce a movie date for that film, so I don't
right.
expect that movie to come out at least 2026 at best. Right? It could be a little bit later. I mean,
I
what's
thought
the
at least maybe Batman would be in Superman Legacy.
yeah, maybe yeah.
I know that might be too much. We were supposed to get all these. I mean,
You might
but
have other heroes. You might have other heroes.
I think it would be.
Well,
We'll have to see. Like I don't want it to be too overloaded with just
maybe
characters that are not related to the story.
maybe Steel. I don't know.
Well, the one that keeps popping up is Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific's supposed to be in the movie. I mean, we'll see if that's true.
What do you mean? What do you mean a wide berth with the Batman?
Probably like he's allowed to do whatever he wants, is what I'm
Oh,
guessing. Because I mean, the more creative freedom he has, the more different it's going to be from the DCU. I would assume, right? And if he is stepping on something that they plan on doing, I assume they would tell him, right?
mm-hmm.
But I still agree with what Degrassi's saying. I don't see how they could do two Batman movies and have two Bruce Waynes in live action like that. That to me seems disastrous. At the rate we're going, if the Flash did a little bit better, maybe I could be like, okay, people could tell the difference. But now, I don't think people really care enough to have two Batman. Um,
Well, 3 Batmans didn't help the movie.
yeah, 3 Batmans didn't help the movie, and I don't think 2 separate Batman movies are gonna do DC any
Yeah,
favors.
I think if you have the Batman and you have Brave and the Bold a year after, that might confuse people. I mean, they did have.
I don't think it would confuse people. I think the audience. I just think the audience wouldn't care
Yeah.
because it's already like a ongoing joke of, oh, they're already recasting Superman or Spider-Man or Batman, and so the audience is kind of used to it. But if you do like 2 new Batmans at the same time, you're kind of like,
It-
you know. And I know at this point, yes, we're in the second movie for Robert Pattinson, but still, it just
We just know the Batman, whoever the next Batman is for this universe, is gonna be someone we know.
well, and the one person I'm not that I keep seeing thrown around, and since we just got a fan casting confirmed, I don't want to see Jensen Ackles as
he's
Batman.
over 40.
But I feel well, he's 42, I think.
Yes. And
So
Jensen Ackles,
if the Batman is 35, then technically
Here's the
he can
thing.
still play a 35-year-old.
Here's the thing. Batman, Jensen Ackles is a decent actor, but when you play Batman Bruce Wayne, you have to be a great actor to play that role. You have to be a great actor because you're playing 2 roles and a complete opposite of each other.
Well, you have to definitely be a solid actor.
Yeah. And look, in all the Batmans in the past, I mean, Ben Affleck. I think Robert Pattinson is actually a better actor than Ben Affleck. The hot take here, I
Right.
do. But if all the Batmans of the past, they're all good actors, all top tier actors. Christian Bale, Michael Keaton. Robert Pattinson.
Like they all could have been Batman. That's
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think that's
Jensen Ackles is not on their level.
I'm just worried that if it's someone like Jensen Ackles, I just feel like well this guy also isn't who's Superman. He's not a movie star too.
But I felt like Jensen Ackles, if he was Batman, he would have been Batman long.
Oh, you know what too? You know I was gonna say this. The Superman casting reminds me of Tom Holland. That's what it reminds me of. Tom Holland does work as Spider-Man, but it's not like super. He's not like such a he's definitely Spider-Man, right? Like there's so many other people who could have been Spider-Man that I think could have done a lot more of an interesting job with the character. Well, Tom Holland, I feel like is just middle of the road, right? He's not bad. He's not good. I don't think he really adds much to the movies. I think it's like the writing and it being in the MCU added a lot to his Spider-Man movies. And the fact that I do think the first 2 Tom Holland movies are funny, right? So that's what the Superman casting reminds me of. It just feels like this Superman is not really going to be the best part of his movie. That's what it feels like.
I hope there's some humor in this movie. I hope Superman does have a sense of humor in this movie.
Well, I hope the action sequences are actually good. That's the one thing I'm more concerned about.
Oh, Kira Culkin. How about we bring back his brother? Okay, let's bring back his brother.
Well, now we're getting a lot of people from. And that's another thing too. Alexander Skarsgård. My only thing against him, even though I prefer him, is it definitely reminds me of Jesse Eisenberg because he plays a character in Succession that is like this business typhoon, but he's more like a dude from that company that company that went bankrupt or fire, like, you know, these kind of like young guys who are like don't know what to do, but they're in entrepreneurs. That's what his character was.
You're almost like.
But that's how he starts off with.
It's almost like they're handed the business.
Not that they're handed the business, but they don't know what they're doing, and they're a startup company that's just like all. They haven't learned. They haven't learned.
They haven't learned how to run.
Yeah, he turns like he evolves into a different character. But I'm like, I hope he's not, because I'm like, okay, that actually now looks like Jesse Eisenberg. Like Jesse Eisenberg played Mark Zuckerberg, and then you're like, oh, we should make Lex Luthor like Mark Zuckerberg, and you're kind of like, I mean, like, I get it. It seems current, but I don't know.
The problem is like some people like really compare him to the Riddler.
Yeah, they compared him to the Riddler or even the Joker at times because he was so like all over the place and so exaggerative.
He does have Joker tendencies in that.
Yeah, he does. That's my only concern though with Alexander Skarsgård. I don't want him to play that same character. That would be really
I
weird.
want him to be Lex Luthor. I want to be Lex Luthor, who's 99% serious all the time.
Yeah, I think Alexander Skarsgård could do that. I think he could be serious. He could be very threatening and menacing. And he could be intelligent too, which I think you kind of have to believe that Lex Luthor thinks that he's smarter than Superman without realizing that Superman is probably, if not maybe smarter than him. Right? Yeah. So there's that dynamic too.
And definitely, I want my Lex Luthor to be, I think you're like me, Brian. I think we want our characters to be, we're kind of old school in the way we want our characters to be like kind of representing the comics at times. Certainly with legacy characters.
Right. Like I want it to be like the comics, but I also want it to be, again, like an interesting choice where you're like, oh, that guy did end up playing or how we saw the character in the comic, but it was also like he added on to his own performance, and it was like, oh, this is different. It's familiar, but it's different.
If they're, I don't know if they're doing an event like a Thanos level event, Infinity War, like that kind of build up. But who would be a good villain to?
Probably I mean, at this rate, do they want to do? My pick was the Anti-Monitor, but I don't know if they're going to want to do that. Yeah,
I got Brainiac, Anti-Monitor.
Right.
I think Darkseid maybe later down the road. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't know if they will do. Like, are they gonna redo some of the villains that were already in the DCU? Like, would we get a General Zod? Would we get?
I wouldn't do Zod. I would definitely do Brainiac because you could do some.
Right. Brainiac is overdue for sure.
Yeah. Brainiac was, he was supposed to have, that was the original plan. The Nicolas Cage movie was supposed to have Brainiac. And I believe the plan for Man of Steel 2 was supposed to be Brainiac.
Yeah.
But Brainiac could be a Justice League villain. Like, I know he's.
Yeah, he could be.
Like, I'll say this. I think we agree on this. Most Superman villains, at least the top tier villains, are Justice League villains. Like Brainiac and Darkseid, Lex Luthor, right?
Well, they should put Brainiac. Like I don't know if it would be a good idea to put Brainiac in a Justice League movie. I think the Justice League movie should be the Justice League versus the Authorities. It should be basically Superman versus the Elite, but it's two teams against each other, which we haven't actually got. We haven't had a movie with two teams, a hero team and a villain team, going at each other. So that is still not really explored, right? Like we've gotten armies, right? Like Thanos' army and Ultron's armies, right? But like we've never actually had like two teams strategically going back and forth, which I think would be kind of interesting to see, right? Especially if it's going to be characters that we like on both sides. I think that would be a really interesting dynamic. So I hope that's what he's planning.
Yeah, it's just that I think people never expected Authority to be involved.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's more inspiring, right? That's more like, okay, that's like an interesting choice, especially now that I've read The Authorities, right? They're like, okay, that actually seems very interesting, and that's what I was expecting from the Superman casting, right?
I would have Lex Luthor manipulating Authority the whole time.
I mean, he could. It would be interesting to see him interact with the Authorities, to be honest, because I don't know how that would play out exactly.
He's president.
If he's president, then yeah, that means he kind of is somewhat involved with running the Authorities, but not necessarily. So I want to see that dynamic too, because I don't think, again, the Authorities is going to be like the Injustice League or what's their other name? It's not just the Injustice. Say it.
Injustice.
No, the Injustice League is, like all the villains, and they're like the Justice League.
Oh, the Dungeon of Doom. Oh, Dungeon of Doom, whatever it's called.
The
Legion of Doom.
Legion of Doom, yeah, like all those teams, like the authorities are more like they're in the middle, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of gray in what they're doing, and so
That's what Next Truth, I believes, too.
yeah, and I also think too, like if there's a lot of gray, like what kind of Justice League is this? Like, are they like straight cut Justice League? Because then
Yeah.
it's like how like I'm just I think that'd be more. I'd be a lot more excited if the Justice League movie is Justice League versus Authorities. Do I think that's like a good selling point? I
Well,
don't know,
they
but I
said
think it would be interesting.
They said a sequel, The Authority, is going to be with Superman in it.
Right, but I mean they're obviously they're doing that now. Grant Morrison, they have Superman and the Authorities, but I kind of want to see the Justice League versus the Authorities. Something about that. It sounds like. I mean, it's either that. Yeah, we don't have a Wonder Woman yet, too, which I'm curious to see who. I'm curious now to see like who are they. They got to recast all the Justice League members now at this rate. Like Jason Momoa really going to be Aquaman? I don't think so.
I want there to be the Secret Six, the Checkmate, Camnix.
Yeah.
It's not.
I hope there's multiple leaks.
It's not building future characters. Just have them all exist. Everybody exists. I think we still need if this universe is hitting off the ground. There's some heroes, there's some villains they kind of need to build still.
Yeah. For the core Justice League, unless they haven't been introduced, like probably you're gonna have to do a Green Lantern origin with John Stewart, right? Which probably means you're gonna have Hal Jordan already as Green Lantern, right?
Oh, I love to see.
I think that would make sense for the show. So,
what was I gonna say? Yeah, Waller. Yeah, we gotta do. Right. They gotta do this show, the Waller show.
Well, the Waller show. You know, that's another thing too. I think, at this rate, I don't know if they should do that Waller show. Just push that into the DCU if you're gonna do it, but don't.
I think it is part of DCU.
If that's the case, then Amanda Waller should show up somewhere before that show in the new DCU.
Yeah.
Because I really think they really should hard reboot, even if you have the good casting choices, right? Maybe you could be like, oh, Amanda Waller's kind of like J. Jonah Jameson, right? It's just like too good. But then people, but this is my problem, right? Then people will always go back to, well, why couldn't you keep this actor or that actor? And to be honest, that is kind of a good point, right? Like you could have still made a Superman movie with Henry Cavill in a new universe, but obviously that's probably going to be too expensive. There's probably too many problems with doing that anyway. So I just feel like they should just recast everybody. Why bring back one person just because they're so good? Like just recast everybody, including Peacemaker. They should just recast everybody.
Peacemaker. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Peacemaker. Oh man, I like the show too, but I just feel like DC as a whole, I think, is like really damaged.
Oh, his wife was good. I guarantee.
They should hope they cut that out. They should cut that out if they want to save that movie.
His wife is going to be the Superman movie anyway. I just know it.
Even if the general audiences don't even care for the character, even though hardcore was in Black Adam, they should every single DC reference in that movie, they should cut it out. They should just cut it out and see if the movie is really good. If it's better than The Flash, if it scores better than The Flash, they should say that's the first DCU movie. Why not? It was successful. It got good reviews. It was good at the box office. Maybe, or at least it was profitable. Right? I don't think Blue Beetle is going to do crazy numbers, right? I don't think it's going to go past 600. I'll be shocked if it goes past 600.
Me too.
That would actually be a mega success for them if it does.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. 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 I saw on Twitter.
You were gonna pull up something?
No, I just saw something stupid that Roseanne Barr said.
Oh, I haven't heard what she said, but I bet it was stupid.
She's a fucking moron.
Yep.
You want to know what she said? I'll bring it up right now. I'm not going to show you on here. I'm going to just read it out. And this is her words, not mine, but this is her words. And the worst of all, she's Jewish too. Let me search it out. Roseanne Barr. Okay. She says on a podcast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know on Theo. I don't know what podcast this is. Let me check. Oh, I know the guy Theo Vaughn, whatever his name is.
Theo Vaughn. Yeah.
Okay. She was on that podcast. This is her words about the Holocaust.
Why couldn't she say this on Brendan Schaub's show? It would have been way more funnier. Sorry.
This is what she said. Nobody died in the Holocaust. It should happen. 6 million Jews should die right now because they cause all the problems in the world. And that's what she said.
Did Theo Vaughn push back? Come on. I hope he pushed back on that. That's fucking insane.
You know what's the worst thing is? She's Jewish herself.
I know. Yeah, she's just...
She's fucking stupid.
Oh, my God. What did he say? What did Theo Vaughn say?
I don't know. It was just a clip.
I wish this was said on Brendan Schaub's show because Brendan Schaub, if you don't know Brendan Schaub, just absolute disgrace, man. I don't know what he's doing. Terrible comedian. Theo Vaughn's not that bad, but he had a show. Him and Theo Vaughn had a show.
He kind of laughed a little bit, but I don't think it was a laugh like agreeing with her. I think it was kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was definitely a what the fuck.
Yeah. This is what like he didn't really push back. He just like he should.
I mean, that's what they got to do. I mean, the thing is, Theo Vaughn had Bill Burr, and I think Bill Burr was he said something like really rude to Theo Vaughn. And Theo Vaughn just didn't even push back. He didn't even say anything, even though he was like taking shots at his character. Right? It's like, I don't care who you are, right? You're not gonna come on my show and then fucking shit on me, right? Like, and it wasn't like in a joking manner. Like he was like, in other words, like, hey, shut the hell up, right? Like, well, why are you doing this? You're so fucking annoying. Like, wow, yeah, Schaub is not a comedian. He's not a comedian. It's absolute all those people who hang around Joe Rogan and they claim they're comedians. I don't believe they're comedians. They love to talk about, I'm being canceled. No, you're not. Your stick sucks. I've seen way better comedians now. I don't hear them talking about them getting canceled. I was just watching this guy on Netflix. I think the entire show, this guy didn't even swear. He didn't swear. He didn't say anything vulgar. And it was funny as hell. I'm forgetting. I gotta look up what that guy's name was. And my friend showed it to me, and we watched together. And dude was hilarious.
Even she said that quote as a joke. That's not funny.
It wasn't. Yeah, that's a weird quote to say. I don't know what. It was weird. It was like what was even the context of that?
Right? Which each race, religion, ethnicity, you can always you're allowed to get away with the jokes and making fun of your own kind, right? You know that,
right?
Belief, right? But when you say,
people should be dead.
Yeah,
I think that's where you kind of cross the line.
Yeah, even with your own kind, like it was no. Like
there's a certain limit.
There's a certain limit. No, like this.
What does Roseanne Barr even do? Does she even have a stand-up special? Like, what has she been doing? Is she just going around on everybody's podcast saying nonsense? Because she's one of those people. Yeah, she probably. Like, how many times has she appeared on Joe Rogan and said nothing insightful, nothing interesting? Who's watching those episodes of Roseanne Barr on Joe Rogan? I need to know.
He's an idiot too.
Joe Rogan is definitely an idiot. I agree.
He's sold out. Like he'll do anything for money.
But the problem with Joe Rogan is I think Joe Rogan thinks he's more smarter than he thinks. Right? He gets on a lot of people who have, they have credibility and stuff, but Joe Rogan is really just the I do what's the thing he's always into, always talking about in his tank. He's floating in his tank, getting high and looking at shit. Like come on, bro. Like Joe Rogan's a joke now. Like seriously. Yeah, true. It is. Yeah, so many of them. I'm telling you, so many of the. You got Whitney Cummings too, who's terrible. Whitney Cummings is awful. What is she doing, man? Oh my God, who else?
Here's Steele Vaughn on his Twitter account today. This will then bar clip with sarcasm, folks. A clip taken out of a long sarcastic rant that she had during our chat. Can we not recognize sarcasm anymore?
Well, we need to see the clip.
Just doubling down.
We need to see the entire context then.
And I like this tweet. As my mom always told me, it's not a joke if you have to tell people it is.
Yeah, that's also that's a good one. I mean, the thing is, like, most people know that she's kind of in crazy town. She's in a lot of these. It's crazy, man. And then they're gonna say, you know what? They're like Dave Chappelle or some shit, and even Dave Chappelle, I think, has fallen off. They always love comparing themselves to Dave Chappelle. I don't know what's going on with them. They think like they're like, oh, I'm at my peak. Like when Dave Chappelle was at his peak, that's me right now. It's like, what are you talking about? Someone said that about themselves. So I thought that was wild. I'm like, you're nobody in comparison to Dave Chappelle. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, and what's that guy who just put out his movie with what's that guy's name? Brett something? I forget the guy who's just the guy. He's always drunk. He's not funny, but he drinks and he's like, oh, I'm drunk. Get it, bro? Grow up, bro. Grow up. I'm sick and tired of that dude. Maybe Degrassi knows. I think Degrassi was talking about his movie too.
He was that movie with when he goes to Russia, right?
Is it where he goes to Mark Hamill's in the movie? I thought it was
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What is that movie? I wanted to see it, just to shit on it.
These days, they all resort to like mostly sex jokes.
They do. There's a lot of people, and then oh my God, there's a channel that I love watching.
There we go. This guy.
Right. That guy, so annoying. I can't stand that guy. Oh my God, that guy needs some help. Serious help. Like, if you got to be drinking to make jokes constantly every day, you need help, man. You need some serious help. And he's been doing this since he was in college. Wasn't that his whole thing? He was in college for like 10 years and he was just drunk all the time.
What?
Yeah, I think that was, or was that just like a joke?
Oh,
the machine. Oh yeah, took 25 days. That's what Degrassi's. Took 25 days. Oh my God.
They all have the jokes about sex and like stuff like that. Like,
they love, but it's the same joke. It's the same joke.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta watch. No, you don't have to watch because it's so terrible. But Whitney Cummings, all she talks about is her vagina. No one cares. It's not funny.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Show us your vagina. That's all you gotta do.
Oh my God. No, I don't want to see no vagina on stage. Get off the stage. Someone needs to do that hook and pull them off the stage.
All she does is talk about the vagina. Show us the vagina to prove it.
Just awful. And then what's is big? Oh, is that now I need to Google that.
Van Wilder, isn't that Ryan Reynolds like movie from back in the day that made him big?
That is it. Is it? Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, Ryan. Hold on, wait. Oh my God. Yeah, I see it now. Yes.
Yeah, when it comes to like the sex jokes all the time. Like,
for a minute there, it didn't look like Ryan Reynolds. I was confused.
That's the first big movie. I had Cal Penn in it.
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah. Tara Reid, my God, her career really went downhill.
It is based off of him. That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yeah, he has a clip talking about it here.
It's yeah, the comedians these days are like I don't know, man. I like old school comedians. I like Russell Peters.
What has been Russell Peters been even doing?
I don't know.
Is he just still talking about Brampton? I mean, it's accurate, but I mean, like, is he just talking about Brampton? I feel like every time I walk around, I hear a joke about Brampton.
Yeah,
It's gotten so bad where there's people, Americans talking about Brampton. That's how bad it is, man. What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I'm in Brampton, Ontario. I
It's like,
don't know.
man,
I don't
you know what's funny? When I was doing my first aid training, right? Some guy told us something like some guy got into an accident, like he was walking and he tripped over a stump and he broke his jaw, and so he tried to sue the city, right? And we're all like, "Oh, let me guess what city it was, Brampton." Like only someone could trip over a giant tree stump and sue a city. It's only in Brampton. Only stuff like that happens in Brampton. How stupid do you have to be to do that? He literally came off of the sidewalk, walked over, and he tripped over a massive stump. Like they said, the stump was so big, you would have to be blind to miss it.
Did he win the lawsuit?
I think he won the lawsuit, yeah. Because then they had to then spray like neon paint around the stump.
They should put a warning sign.
Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah, because they didn't want to get sued, obviously.
How much? I wonder how much he got for that.
I don't know.
Way more than he had to pay for the broken. What was it, leg?
Jaw. Broke his jaw. That's like the worst kind of like, oof. That's the worst kind. But yeah, only stuff like that happens in Brampton. Like people just be doing like Fast and the Furious, goddamn races in Brampton, man. It's crazy. I don't live in Brampton, but I live near the highway. Dude, every morning. You would think Vin Diesel's out there.
Yeah, breaking news. Fast 10 Part 2 is going to start filming in Brampton.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's crazy. They're out here drag racing. They're doing all types of crazy shit.
We're going to take pictures of Brie Larson, Vin Diesel, The Rock, Ludacris, Gal Gadot, Kurt Russell,
oh my God,
Momoa, and Brampton, Ontario. They probably never even heard of Brampton.
Bruh. Well, I mean, at this rate, I should show you. There was some car crash in Brampton, and you look at the car crash, and you're like, how did this guy get the car on top of all these other cars?
It's Vin Diesel, Bobby.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not even flipped upside down. It's on top of the car. It's like, what?
This is better than any comedian show ever out there right now.
One dude drove, again, in Brampton, drove his car right through the front door of his house.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's those houses where they have like not a deck. What do you call it? Patio in the front?
Yes.
So it's like, how did you fit your car in this little narrow patio and drive through it? It's insane. It's bizarre. It's truly bizarre.
I'm going to contact Vin Diesel and say, you know what? You should start filming the last two Fast and Furious movies in Brampton, Ontario.
You should. Yeah. We need a movie that is just entirely about Brampton.
Oh, yeah. Russell Pierce could star.
Oh, man. Brampton.
That's it. Man. Let me tell you something. Oh, man. When I went to wrestling on Sunday, at TTC, oh, my God. You know, you just...
It's crazy.
You want to kill people on TTC.
Yeah, you want to... That should be a joke, yeah. When you get on the TTC, you start thinking like a murderer, man.
Yeah, it's true.
You think, what the hell are people doing? Why is it so crowded? And the thing is, it's so crowded and no one seems like they're going anywhere. You notice that?
Yeah. You know what one of my biggest pet peeves of going on a bus is? When a bus is not a lot of people or like close to empty or there's not a lot of people,
right?
People just stand in the front when there's a bunch of seats available.
Right.
Like, sit down, man. There's seats available.
Sit the hell down. Yeah. Oh my God.
Like, you just I'm not a gun owner, by people by the sun, and you just go to
You
TTC.
people.
I'm not sure people, but obviously I don't think you're
I
not going to
mean,
the TTC.
no,
I'm
no,
not
they're
sure.
it's a. Oh my god! Yeah, someone might clip this, man. I can't. Anyway, the TTC. I mean, yeah, I would have.
You know,
There's been so much random stuff happening on the TTC, man.
it's the
People just
pandemic,
getting
man.
randomly stabbed on the TTC, just
Pandemic.
random,
Yo, there's this guy on the
pushed in the
subway.
sideway.
There's this guy on the
Jeez.
subway. Mental ill problems. Obviously, he did. He was walking down the train, right?
Right.
He had a water gun.
What did he do with the water gun?
Nothing. He just held it.
He just held it. Oh man. Oh man. That's so random, man. What? Oh man.
And I went on Sunday, and it was Pride too, man.
Oh, was it even more crowded?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Oh man.
And
Was Doug Ford there?
well, he ain't the mayor anymore.
Yeah, I don't. He used to go, and then I guess he can't.
Can he fit?
Can he fit? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, I think Wob was bigger, right?
Yeah, I think he was.
I remember the stories he told me about Wob before. He had like an escort of security when he went to dinner.
Yeah, just no. That was Doug Ford. That was Doug Ford.
Was he the premier at the time?
No. He was just a city councilor. He had it's like this dude's like a mafia dude. Like he had bodyguards. He came out in a black SUV.
Really? How long ago was this?
This is probably 7-8 years ago, I think.
I don't know if Wob Ford was alive then, but he should have come out as Batman and been, "Where's your brother?"
Oh man. Knowing now, we should. I had so many times where I could have confronted Doug Ford. I told you several times. I think I was probably the only person who could have trolled this guy.
Don't lose your mind in the woods, okay? Don't lose your mind in the woods.
Oh man.
Okay, don't lose your mind. Because people living in the woods, they lose their minds.
No man, you don't want to live out in the Canadian woods.
And you live in Tennessee. I don't blame you for having a gun.
I mean, to be honest, if you are living in the woods, probably safer because you. The thing is, the police, I bet, also trying to get you is harder. Ambulance, all that stuff. So I don't blame people for that, to be honest. But in the city, I think it's a little bit,
Toronto is so damn hectic. I mean, like I said, when I was coming out of the subway, I'm like, and there's a bunch of construction in downtown Toronto. I'm like, this is the worst city in North America when it comes to this.
It is the construction.
I was thinking all the cities in the U.S. that have trains and subways stuff like that. I'm like, New York has a subway, Chicago. I'm like, Los Angeles doesn't even have a subway. I'm like, because they can't.
They can't. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, they're always trying to expand it, and then they're also building. It's not enough. It's like a train underground. It's not a subway, but that one's near me, and it's annoying.
The biggest mistake Toronto does have like make two lines at the beginning, and never expand. I mean, what the hell why is there no subway during Bathurst Street? I know young obviously, but Bathurst Street is a pretty busy street.
Right.
Like seriously.
The subway. It's weird. It's not. I mean, it's not as bad as New York, though. I'm not sure if you've been on New York subway.
I have years ago.
Yeah, I went. That's a mess. That's a total mess. I think the best subway I've been on was probably, and I don't like the city. I'm sorry, man. I don't like Montreal. The people there, they're very rude. Very rude people. Probably the rudest city. Crazy.
The French Canadians are like that.
They're rude as hell, bro. Yeah. Rude as hell. Yes, they don't give no fucks. They hate it when you have to talk in English. Yeah, I told you the story when I bumped into the guy. I was a kid, and I said sorry in English. He told me in English he doesn't speak to English people. Yeah, the Quebec people from Quebec, they really hate English. The only thing I like is poutine. That's it. Yeah. That's the only reason why to go. So the England and France that don't really like each other,
it's here too, man.
Yeah.
And they
I think
don't.
it's worse here. I think it's worse
Oh,
here. They have a huge resentment against the
they want
English
to be.
people.
They want to be their own country.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I
Because
don't
I
think
don't think it's bad in France from what I
really,
heard.
people like to go to Montreal to party, but they don't want to live there.
Yeah.
It's like one of those cities, right? They go to party because it's a great party city, but they don't want to. People don't want to live there. I mean, Americans don't like living in Montreal because they don't want to speak freaking French. You know, Americans.
Yeah. They don't want to speak French. Yeah, that's a city where you gotta learn to speak French or you're
here's the thing, guys. Americans think Toronto is like it's one of the nicest cities. Maybe it is compared to a lot of American cities, but it's not a Canadian city. I mean, Toronto is very much like an American city.
Yeah. It's a little bit more nicer, but you still get there's a lot of people, you're just walking around and somehow, some way someone's gonna irritate me to no end.
Yes.
To no end. They're like, why you gotta do this, man? Why you gotta hold up the damn pizza at 12 a.m.
Oh, I got home like 12:30 last night at the bus stop. I went to pizza for a slice.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, man.
starving. At 12:30.
Oh, man. But seriously, I mean, like, sometimes you're just minding your own business and someone is gonna bother you. Someone is gonna bother you.
Did I tell you the story? This happened in 2009, 2010. This wasn't late at night. It was actually around 7, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. Me and my cousin were going to an AHL game, a minor league game, right?
Right.
So my cousin had a hockey jersey on, Sidney Crosby, Pittsburgh, right? Captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins at the time. Still is a captain now. So this guy gets on the train. Drunk. He had a beer can with him, drunk. And he goes up to my cousin and he says, "Do you have any weed on you?" Weed on you. and my cousin's like, no, I don't have any on me. He said, "Come on, you're the captain, man. You should have weed on me." So that guy, like, obviously didn't get the weed. Yeah, the guy sits next to me, right? Next to me. He offers me a sip of his beer. I'm like, no, thank you.
He offered you a sip of his beer.
Yeah. And then he sat next to me. The next time, I gotta take a piss.
Oh my god.
The thing is, the next stop, the cops were looking for him. And they saw him.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, all these drunk people in Toronto, like they when you say no, right, that's an invitation for a conversation for them.
Yes.
That's what it feels like. It's like how so many times. There was one time I was on the subway with my friends, right? And some guy, he came in, he was drunk, and he was like asking us our names, right? So we didn't want to give him our names, so we just said letters, right?
Yeah.
One friend said A, I'm B, the other guy C, and he just kept going on, and he actually believed it too because he was so drunk. It was like,
I can believe that.
it's like, what the hell? But then there's crazy ones. There was one guy. This could have been a disaster. I was sitting in the car. I was with my dad. It was me and my brother, right? We were sitting down. My dad went to park and went to a corner store, and this was on Danforth, right?
Yeah, I know Danforth. Yeah.
And then this guy with the beard, right? He looked like Santa Claus but balding. He came out and he was like, he was like opening up the gas. What do you call it? The gas tank, right? He was opening it up, right? Like kept playing with it, and he went into the store, right? Because I was concerned, right? Like, well, why was he opening up our gas tank, right? So I went out and I see him in the store. My dad let him go in front of him in the line to buy matches. The guy was going to light a match and throw it into our gas tank. That's what he was going to do. And I was telling my dad, I'm like, yo, that guy, he's gonna buy the matches and throw it into our tank because he kept opening it and he was like looking for something, right? I was like, yo, it was so freaking scary, man. I was like, dude, and he was crazy, right? He was like, he would look like he was gonna kill someone. He looked like he wanted to set off a bomb, bro. Like he was just like, he just had that fucking look at him. So many weird stories like that. People just like, what are you doing? And they're about to do the most horrific shit, or at least in their mind, they're gonna do the most horrific shit.
Oh yeah, especially Yeah.
Oh my god.
You got weird people in Toronto, especially downtown.
Yeah, downtown is rife with fucking weird people.
I mean, that one guy when he got off, and the cops told him to get off, and he did comply with it because he did go off.
Right.
He wasn't really doing anything bad or anything. You know, he was just drunk, had a beer, obviously, and you can't have an open beer can in the subway.
Right.
Stuff, right?
But people do it anyway.
I know it's hard to catch them, right? Because we don't have any police in there. I think they have cameras, but you can't really
Nah, you can't really. It's gonna be way too hard.
Yeah. Unless it's an undercover cop or something. I don't know. What's the undercover gonna do?
They should honestly, the way that things have been going, they should just have an undercover cop on the
New
station.
York.
Yeah.
New York has police in the subway stations all the time.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. I don't really understand why they don't do that.
Yeah, but Toronto they don't. Toronto needs it. And there was when the guy got off, right? There was a mother and a kid sitting right across from me, right? And she's like, I don't know how you were able to stay still, be perfectly calm. And I'm like, I don't know either, man.
Because like when people just come up to you and just like sometimes I'm like, if someone is rude, then I might say something back. But sometimes I'm like, yo, I don't want to get stabbed. I really don't want to get stabbed today.
You stay calm. That's the best thing.
You just stay calm and just don't say anything.
Act cool, yeah.
Because sometimes, like, some people really be pushing it, man. They've been pushing it and say some really wild things to you. You're like, why would you say that, man?
Yeah, Degrassi, don't take if you ever come to Toronto, don't take the TTC.
Yeah, don't take TTC. or definitely avoid Brampton.
Yeah, avoid Brampton.
Avoid Brampton. Unless you want to die, avoid Brampton.
It's worse than Jada Finch.
Yeah, way worse. And it has nothing to do with guns or violence. It's just,
trees,
Fast and the Furious driving. Fast and the Furious driving, man.
Fast 10 Part 2.
Location?
Brampton.
They should have a whole joke about driving in Brampton. It's
like, you think this road is tough to drive on? I drove at Brampton.
No. I drove. Man. No other city can compare.
No other city has it tougher than Brampton. No other city.
My God.
Brock is like, Brampton? Who the hell's heard of Brampton?
Oh man, more people are gonna hear about Brampton sooner or later.
Brampton.
It's gonna be all over the place, man.
Brampton, the most dangerous city in North America. No, in the world.
Oh man.
It's like Brampton. If that's cities have a sign, welcome to Brampton. Welcome to Brampton. Warning: be safe. Be careful.
Right. Be careful. It's bad, man. It's really bad.
It's funny. It's hilarious. That's Brampton, man. Yeah. Now we got a new mayor in Toronto.
Yes.
Do you remember that Chris guy was trying to run for mayor?
Chris guy?
Yeah. That lunatic.
I think I know who you're talking about. I heard he was crazy, but I never seen anything.
Yeah, he was trying to run for mayor.
What was his name?
Chris Guy.
Chris Guy, okay. There's a white guy, right?
Yeah. So when I went to wrestling, right? I left 11:30, 12 o'clock,
right.
Whatever, between 11:30 and 12 o'clock. I mean, because I had to beat the subway in the train, right? Because TBC obviously has an ending time, right? And so the buses have ending time. They have night buses, but the night bus does not go to my home from the station I get off at. And I'm like, I was thinking of possibly like going to a hotel near Scotiabank Arena, and I'm like, when I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, these hotel rooms are like more than $200. I'm like, why? I'd be like, I have to be rich to stay there.
Which hotels?
Well, the ones near Scotiabank Arena are pretty expensive.
Yeah, those are gonna be expensive. Yeah.
I'm not.
Those are gonna be the nicer hotels, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, Royal York is probably like a few $100.
I mean, they're pretty good, though.
I'll be sleeping in my clothes.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, I would spend like 500 to $700 before a night. Just I,
Yes. One day I was just gonna buy not buy it, but a
my
hotel.
hotel.
You can't buy a hotel. But
Why couldn't blind in hotels?
oh man, if I had, I would just buy the hotel and just like sleep in every room on a different day, just
Oh
like randomly pick.
no, I'll do have sex in every room.
I mean, how many floors is that gonna have? I mean, these are tall buildings, man. Oh man.
Yeah, the owner of AEW, Tony Khan, my father owns a Four Seasons in Toronto. And I go,
Oh
what
man. Wild, absolutely wild.
I laughed so hard.
Yeah, staying in a nice hotel.
Of course.
The only reason why I like staying in a nice hotel is I love the bathrooms. I love the goddamn bathrooms, man. You wanna know why? I could use out all the freaking towels. Throw it.
Home.
I don't steal them. I don't steal them. By like using all of them and then just getting new ones. That's the best feeling in the that's the best feeling in the world.
Back when I went to New York, it's just like when last time I went to New York was like in 2004, 2005.
Right.
Me and my family, me and my parents, my dad and my mother, we stayed in really Manhattan, like downtown Manhattan.
Damn.
Near Grand Central. We stayed at the Hyatt Hotel. And that's a pretty
Oh wow.
yeah. Like because we wanted to see a lot of stuff in Manhattan, right? We didn't want to do all that traveling, staying in a hotel outside of Manhattan, right?
Right.
We wanted to do travel because New York is freaking huge, man.
Yeah, it's massive.
It takes you 3 to 4 hours to get to Long Island. I didn't even get to the Hamptons. We wanted to see the Hamptons. I'm like, Dad, this is taking too long to see the Hamptons. Let's just go back to New York.
Holy.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to New York, I was in Brooklyn because that's where my aunts live.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a hassle, like traveling back and forth.
You don't need a car there.
No, yeah, I'm surprised there's people who drive in New York.
Oh, there's so many one-way streets in that town.
Yeah.
Oh,
But in Toronto, though, it's like you kind of have to need a car.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's the TTC's fault. It shouldn't be like that.
Yeah. Because the TTC sometimes it doesn't. It should extend, I think, outside of the other cities because
it goes up to Vaughan. It goes up to Vaughan Mills now, but it's still not enough.
Well, not even really. It just goes right up close. Like it goes to York University.
Yeah.
But
they should have planned this long time ago because Toronto's still growing. I mean, not just Toronto. The GTA is huge.
Yeah.
It's getting bigger and bigger, man. Like,
well, I always say they should keep expanding it because, like, the further you go out, it's still not like great. I mean, there's obviously like better areas and stuff like in Burlington, but then like in Hamilton, like Hamilton needs like they need a complete redo, man. Hamilton is rough.
Yeah, it's all factory, man. Like,
yeah,
ugh. It's
so weird. It's like on the one side you have Hamilton, but then when you go to like Ajax on that side, it's all like just the suburbs. It's really weird.
Hamilton is a steel town of Toronto of Ontario, like Pittsburgh is for Pennsylvania, but Pittsburgh's actually very nice compared to Hamilton.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the parts that are nice in Hamilton is on the mountain.
Oh,
but the mountain is expensive though.
The grassy, yeah. So we stayed at the Hyatt, right? So me and my dad were in this room, right? My mom was out. I think she was shopping, whatever.
Right.
So when she came back, she happened to get some few baseball autographs, and I'm like, where did you get these baseball autographs? And she told me the story that she was in the elevator with 3 baseball players because apparently when the teams came into town to face the Mets, right? And I think it was Milwaukee Brewers came into town. They stayed in the Hyatt, and she asked them in the elevator, like, what are you guys doing in New York? She said, oh, we're baseball players. We always like to shop in New York when we have time, because most athletes don't really have time to shop in New York.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, those players that I saw that got the autograph, they were not really good. So.
Oh man. That's wild. Holy.
Can you imagine? Like,
You get their autograph and you're like, oh, well, you're a shit player anyway.
I'm not that mean.
That'd be crazy.
I'm
My
not that
God.
mean. But yeah,
My
it's
God.
like I'm like, why do baseball players take it downtown New York when they play the Mets and like it's in Queens or something? Like that's far away,
Right.
man. I'm like, why? Oh yeah, take the
Jeez.
bus there. Yeah, like he's staying downtown New York is like Grand Central. I've been to Grand Central Station, been to
Mhm.
Empire State. I've been to like Soho, been to, like Chinatown. I've been to like I don't know, see the Statue of Liberty. I used to be one of those
Right.
people that used to shit talk New York all the time because I always used to think New York people like shit talk every city out there people because like they always think they're arrogant, I think they're better than everybody else. And I'm
Right.
like, to my dad because my dad's from New York and he likes to talk about New York all the time, and it kind of like pissed me off. I think it's because it's something that has to do with like the Yankees, right? The
Right.
Yankees.
Right.
And then maybe turn off to New York. And then when we took me to New York, I fell in love with it. I'm like, damn.
No, man.
Damn.
When I go to, I need to go back to New York.
Yeah, I like visiting America. I'm gonna be honest. I like visiting the States.
Some places and some
Yeah,
places.
Dude,
Yeah.
I went to Arkansas.
No, man.
I think
What did you do in
I think,
Arkansas?
my cousin had a wedding there. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah. My dad's family is like from America, and American families they just spread out. Canadian families would like to live close to each other. American families like to spread out, right? So I went to Arkansas. I probably was like my family's probably like the only Canadians in Arkansas.
The
I might
only
be the
Canadians in Arkansas.
maybe the only Jews in Arkansas because
Oh,
everybody goes to
man.
freaking church. There's a church
Probably.
everywhere. I swear.
Jeez. That's crazy. Yeah, there's only certain places I would go to the States now.
Where would you go?
I'd probably just go New York, Florida, not every place in Florida. It's got to be like
Orlando for me.
Orlando's okay. I forget to not Miami. Miami's weird, man. There's a lot of weirdos in Miami.
Miami's so overrated. Nobody talks about it. They only talk about beaches about Miami in the club. Like,
I feel like every person who lives in Miami, they're kind of like
you're gonna die.
not that they're gonna die, but like let's just say I think everybody's going down there. They're trying to get plastic surgery. They're just gonna lie around on the beach. That's what I think. That's what I think about people in Miami.
They're gonna die.
The way people think about LA is how I think about Miami. That's how I think. Yeah.
LA is a lot of people go. LA is like the fakest city in the US.
LA is to me it's like Night City. That's a dystopian. I don't know if I don't.
But the people are fake in LA.
It's just for me it would be really hard to live in LA.
That's the difference between the West and East Coast. East Coast people are more in your face or more real than the West Coast people.
Right. A lot of
You know how like New York people are like, they say New York people are like rude or in your face. That's not just New York. That's Boston. That's Philadelphia. That's Detroit. That's
right.
East Coast stuff. That's East Coast, man.
The West Coast is very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
And a lot of people that go to LA are like, people go to LA think they're gonna be a movie star. That's not the case.
Yeah.
Like.
No, you're gonna be on. No offense, but you're gonna be in Skid Row.
Yeah, it's not the city of Angels. It's
just.
You could be a movie star. You could get a career in acting by staying in New York.
Probably, yeah. I don't know. LA just to me, I'm like, that's the one place I'm like, I don't know how I can wrap my mind around it. It just seems so crowded and hectic.
I would visit LA though. I would because there's some stuff I want to see there. But obviously, I mean, I could probably handle living in LA because I'm used to a big city.
No, but LA's not. It's not like Toronto though. It's so congested. Like
we're like New York. Yeah, because they don't have a
even New York. I feel like it's different from New York. Something about it just feels weird to me. I could probably. It depends on what area. Depends on what area. And the thing is, I don't really live too much in the city. I live obviously in the suburbs. And sometimes I do get annoyed when I'm in Toronto just because it's so weird. Sometimes a lot of people don't act; they act different compared to the suburbs.
I know that's true. That's true. That's
But yeah,
true.
where I live, I'm like in all three areas, so it's not as bad. But in Toronto, sometimes it's just it's hectic. Some people don't care. So some people are really rude. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but I do like it though. You know, like obviously I lived here all my life, so it's kind of hard for me not to like it.
I hate people say, "Oh, Toronto. I don't want to live in Toronto because of high taxes and it's cold." And you know
Right.
what? Toronto's a lot. There's a lot of stuff to do. Yes, there are taxes, but some states have higher taxes in Ontario. And the coldness is the biggest lie because there's a lot of states in the U.S. that are colder than Toronto. For example,
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I don't understand why people say that.
yeah, and Toronto is not very different than American cities. Like seriously, it's not very different.
No,
It's not.
don't. Yeah, it's more. I mean, there's a lot of. It's very diverse.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think
I
a
think
lot of cities probably aren't as diverse as Toronto.
if you could live in New York, you could live in Toronto.
Yeah, you probably might like it more, to be honest.
Yeah, my dad
Unless
did.
you're like completely in love with the American values, then yeah.
We don't have Toronto doesn't even have any Canadian values. Let's be honest. Like Toronto's like the least patriotic Canadian city there is.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, like, if you're like super into American values, then yeah, I don't know if you would
if you
like
go outside
Toronto.
Toronto, you see a lot of Canadian values. Like we're not overly
Yeah,
prideful, Canada, like the U.S. is, but outside Toronto, there's a lot more pride out there for Canadian Canada. Toronto's not one of them.
it's weird. Yeah, it is weird. I mean,
Like it's and everybody else in Canada hates Toronto. They hate us.
yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
They like we're center of the universe. Yeah, we are. Too bad.
Well, yeah, most everything is in the major cities. It's
It's
either
true.
Toronto or Vancouver, and
Or
then
some
maybe
people in Montreal.
Montreal. Yeah,
Yeah. There's a reason why. There's a reason why there's a bunch of hockey players that are leaving Winnipeg and Calgary. You want to know why they're leaving Winnipeg and Calgary? One, they're cold. Two, Winnipeg has nothing.
yeah,
Okay. And I think Winnipeg, okay, Calgary has some stuff, more stuff than Winnipeg, but Calgary's very cold too.
yeah. Calgary is trying to be like
Mhm.
they're trying to expand now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to be like the next big city, which I mean they probably will be, but
It's not going to work because it's too cold.
yeah, probably. It'd be like they're trying to be like the North Texas. That's what they're trying to be in Alberta.
Yeah. They pretty
Yeah.
much are North Texas because they are cowboy up there.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. Go to Calgary Stampede.
I don't know if I could live in that type of environment. It's just too much, too
Texas.
wilderness, too much of
Oh.
that.
Hey, you could go to the Last of Us set.
Oh man, yeah, they shot The Last of Us in Calgary, right?
Yeah, usually it's like Vancouver and Toronto is where they shoot stuff, but Calgary
Yeah.
is.
I think they're shooting The Last of
Actually,
Us season 2 in Vancouver.
yeah,
It's supposed to be.
Calgary has actually been being used more for shooting and stuff for films and movies
Right.
and films and TV shows. Yeah, Toronto and Vancouver are the two major ones.
Right.
Because Toronto, they easily make Toronto. Because you know why Toronto's so successful at shooting films? Because you can make Toronto look like an American city easily for a film.
Yeah, it's very easy to. Yeah, no, you can't. Vancouver's weird though. Vancouver, the downtown area,
Mhm.
especially with the water and stuff, it doesn't look like a lot of cities.
No,
The
Vancouver's nice, I heard.
the only city that it would look like, and this is why, they're supposedly shooting The Last of Us season 2 in Vancouver. Is Vancouver does look like Seattle? It does
Yes,
look like Seattle. Yeah,
it's very
that's
close
the
to
only
Seattle,
city.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's basically across from Seattle. Like yeah, Vancouver and Vancouver here is very nice. Like it's not cold there in the winter. It doesn't get the snow. It means it gets cold, but like not overly cold like
Mhm.
Alberta or stuff like that. I know it rains because Seattle also rains, but yeah, Vancouver's pretty nice. A lot of CW shows shot in Vancouver.
Yeah.
CW was famous for Vancouver.
Yeah, I think it was at the time it was probably cheaper.
Yeah, Toronto, they had Toronto did a lot of shooting for the Star Trek shows,
Right.
Discovery, Picard, and I think Strange New Worlds. That's Toronto. The boys
Right.
are in
Because they have
Toronto.
the boys is in Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah, boys in Toronto. Um,
A lot of Netflix shows shoot here in Toronto as well.
Titans, right? It's in
Yeah,
Toronto
Titan
or
was in
Hamilton,
Toronto.
whatever slash both. Right? They do.
Yep. Yep.
Um, they do a lot. They do a lot of. Yeah, Suicide Squad was in Toronto.
Yeah, the
X-Men
first
is
one.
in Toronto.
Shazam was also in Toronto. I told you I was
Yeah,
on the Shazam set.
and Marvel wants to come to Toronto to shoot stuff.
Yeah, they shot Hawkeye. I think pickups of Hawkeye and then
Yeah,
Secret Invasion 2.
but they want but I think they said once I think it's Pinewood downtown Toronto
Yeah.
is getting major development to add more space for for studios to use. I think Marvel says once they're waiting for that to be complete because I think they said it's a 2-year project and they started last year, so it's like 1 year away. I think Marvel's waiting for that to be complete.
I wonder if they're building the volume.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're doing I heard some stuff about the volume. Yeah.
I mean they should start shooting stuff more in Toronto, man. They got some of the Phase 4 casting leads are Canadians. She-Hulk, Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
and then Miss
Miss
Marvel.
Marvel.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the cast Alpha Flight are all Americans? You think that piss
Oh,
off?
yeah, that would piss off some people.
Yeah, that probably piss off.
Well, I'm sure Wolverine is not going to be played by a Canadian, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I could give a pass to Wolverine.
I guess I want to see who they cast as Wolverine.
I personally don't think they're gonna do Alpha Flight though.
I wish they would. It would actually be kind of cool, but
You could have you know what they should do for the hell of it? They should buy the rights to Captain Canuck.
no, man.
You have your new Captain America.
Well, Van, he has so many names. It's the Guardian or Vindicator.
Yeah.
He's basically Captain Canuck. But yeah, his name is so weird. It's like, is it the Guardian or is it Vindicator?
Well, I don't think they want to do Guardian because Red Guardian sounds similar, right? And he's the Russian. He's
yeah.
Russian.
Guardian sounds too generic, but Vindicator always to me, I never liked that name.
Yeah.
It just sounds weird. It's like he's the Vindicator. Is his name the Vindicator? Or am I like?
Isn't Vindicator one of the 5 demons in Spawn? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is the Vindicator. Let's see.
Shoot myself a Trump. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were shooting something when I was walking to the subway station from college. I'm pretty sure it was something was being shot. I don't know.
It is Vindicator. It is.
Yeah.
It's a weird name. It's a weird name for a superhero.
They do a lot. You said Guillermo del Toro shoots everything here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro, his live action stuff, they shoot in Toronto.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They shoot stuff also in Mississauga because I think they have a studio there.
Yeah, I think they do now, yes. I don't know what they shoot up here, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 studios.
And Hamilton. Hamilton, they like to shoot a lot in Hamilton.
Yeah, well, I want to shoot in that disgusting city.
It's damn. It's mostly in the downtown area. That's where they shoot. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the downtown area is super small, so it's like, yeah, it's like I'm sure they like shoot it for like a day and then that's it.
They shoot stuff in Buffalo.
They do, yes. No. Not really Niagara Falls though.
Yeah.
Niagara Falls is a weird city. I feel like it's a front city.
The Canadian side of Niagara Falls is better than the American side.
It is, but still, it doesn't feel like a city. It feels more like a tourist attraction. Like especially if you go into the houses, like the housing area, you're like,
yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't really. I heard they had massive problems too in Niagara Falls because they spend all their money on the tourist areas, and there's not a lot of recreational stuff for the people who actually live in Niagara Falls.
Used to be cheaper to cheap a can.
Yeah. Not anymore. It's freaking expensive in Toronto, man.
Did you know Miss Marvel had a premiere in Toronto?
Oh, did they?
One of the premieres, yeah.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
She's Canadian, right?
Yep.
So why is Shang-Chi not why did Shang-Chi not premiere in Toronto? Why didn't She-Hulk not premiere in Toronto? They're Canadian too. Oh wait, no, she's not. Well, the Canadian actress for She-Hulk is not from Toronto, not from this area.
No, no.
She's from Saskatchewan.
Right. The guy
But
who's from Shang-Chi, he's from Mississauga.
yeah, so they still should shot here. They still a premiere here, but she's from
Right.
Markham, right? The Miss Marvel. It's not far from us. Like literally.
Yeah. I mean, Markham. Yeah, Markham's pretty close.
Yeah.
I always feel like Markham is Toronto, though.
Yeah.
It's not like Mississauga for whatever reason. It feels like when you cross over to Markham, you're still in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
You should come to Toronto, Grassy.
Yeah, you should. It's still. I mean, we're complaining because we live here, but it's if you come like for a week, it's not that bad. But you kind of have to figure out what to do though. You got to come in the summer. Don't go in the winter.
Don't go in the winter. We complain because we love it here.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Yeah, we're just like walking up Young Street.
Yeah, she's coming back. Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Miss Marvel, right?
In the comics. Remember?
Yeah, she's gonna come back. That was weird. There's also some weird allegations going on about the new chief and editor at Marvel. The guy was like pretending to be. He had a pen name that was like Japanese, and he said a lot of weird things, and I don't know what was going on.
But is there a chance TIFF could be canceled this year?
Say that again, TIFF?
Yeah.
No, TIFF's not going to get canceled. Why would TIFF get? Oh, yeah, right. Sorry. Totally blanking on what's going on. Possibly. I don't think it will get canceled. I don't think there will be like a red carpet though.
There won't be any actors promoting the film.
No, there won't be any actors promoting the films. But the studios, I mean, sometimes you don't really need the actors to like. When there's some big movies that premiere at TIFF, like Dune was at TIFF, I don't think any of the actors showed up.
TIFF usually TIFF usually shows like Oscar movies they want to win for the Oscars, right. And you usually have actors for those movies.
No, I don't think it will be straight up canceled, but I think there will probably be less red carpets and things like that. Yeah, probably not a lot of like speaking events too. Because they like to do that, so yeah, I don't. But the movies, though, I'm pretty sure the movies they probably already have an idea of what is going to show. Right, we're in July, right? So it's at the beginning of September.
As of Saturday, if no deal done, they can't promote anything with movies because they're promoting a studio.
Right.
That's what I think. We're going to end it here because it's kind of late. That's what I think. If you notice, Warner Bros. Is promoting the hell out of Barbie.
They are, which I think. We will see if that movie does well.
Yeah,
a lot of movies are not doing so well this summer. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
The blockbusters haven't been blockbusters.
Yeah, they're more like box office failures. I mean, what's going on?
Here's the thing, though. They may not. Some of the actors, if they cancel TIFF, or if they can't have the actors and all that for TIFF. They can still come for Fan Expo because they're not representing the studios at Fan Expo. Yeah,
right.
They're representing themselves.
But even then, who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
Who knows, right? Because sometimes they may be like, wasn't Jason Momoa or was that at Comic?
Yes.
Oh, who was the big celebrity for the Fan Expo that was coming?
Which year?
This year.
Well,
did they already announce it?
Charlie Cox is coming.
Right.
Del Toro is coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But maybe they won't come. Maybe I mean, especially Charlie Cox. Like, why?
But they should come because it's not really them representing the studio, right?
Right. But at the same time, like he was showing up there because Daredevil was going to premiere in early 2024, right? So
I'm sure fans are going to ask him about Daredevil.
Right.
They're promoting it. Because he can't say we can't say he has to be careful with the answers to the fans.
I don't think they might show up, to be honest. I don't think the actors will show up. Maybe actors who are not like working currently. Why risk it, right?
What's your answer to the actually? Can they?
Well, if someone like Charlie Cox is gonna be only asked about Daredevil, why
Sam
really
Raimi, I
risk
don't
it?
think has. Yeah, I mean, he can't. He has to be careful how he answer that, right? If he does come,
Right,
because yeah, he yeah. Well, if I had answered that, I think I'd just be like, if I answered, I can't say anything until the writers and actor strikes get a deal done. I can't say anything. I'm sorry. I'm
right,
sorry. I wish I could give you an answer, but I can't because he'd
right.
be in trouble. And fans will keep asking the actors that. They'll keep asking that, and he'll get in
Oh,
trouble.
Degrassi has an interesting comment about the box office. About that one. Personally, this is what I think. I think they just jam too many big movies back to back, and all of them have
He did.
crossover with the audience. So I think that's why they're all bouncing each other around. But I also think too some of them like I wonder like would the Flash do any better if it was in a different month? Like if it was in August, I think the Flash should have been in August to be honest, but they wanted that summer box office, right?
And have Blue Beetle compete with the Marvels. I don't care.
Right. They should have done they should have and Indiana Jones, I think Indiana Jones is going to be a massive it might be even of a bigger flop than the Flash.
Do you see that? Do you see that critic review about Indiana Jones?
Oh, the one that one was stupid. That one. I don't even understand what they're Nazis, man. You punch Nazis, man. Who cares? It's an Indiana Jones movie. There doesn't need to be any sort of explanation.
Does there need to be a reason why you punch Nazis? They're
No,
bad guys. Like,
they're bad guys. Yeah,
everybody hates. Well,
except
good people hate
Nazis.
Nazis. Good people hate Nazis. Good people hate Nazis.
Yeah, it's weird that that review. I don't know what that guy was trying to say.
And I think that guy was Jewish too.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that was weird.
Like
Bizarre. Honestly, why? I'll probably watch Indiana Jones like on a Tuesday or something.
I'm seeing it Thursday.
You seeing it Thursday?
Yeah.
I'm just. I don't know. Like, I don't want to watch a movie and then be like, the movie was shit, of course, and I didn't like it. So I'm kind of like, I don't know if I really want to go see it, to be honest. And also too, I feel like the studios should, from this summer, I hope they learn their lessons and make movies that are cheaper and movies that are also different too. Like why make a Transformer movie and stick it right after Spider-Man or right before the Flash, right?
Yeah.
Why put Elemental right near the Flash? I don't understand. All these movies seem to have the same appeal, and they're not making movies that are all that diverse anymore. That's what it seems like.
You know what it's like? It's like these studios put all these movies out at the same time, not hoping to get a good box office, but hoping to make sure the other movies that come out at the same time don't get a good box office.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like
it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? Our goal is not to get a good box office return. Our goal is to make sure this movie doesn't get a good box office return, which shouldn't be the case. You shouldn't be competing with you shouldn't be competing with each other, you know, in movies.
Well, if you think about it, right, like maybe somewhere both Spider-Verse and the Flash could have done well, but they were never going to do well right up against each other, right? I think Spider-Verse is definitely, no matter what, is still doing really good compared to the first movie, so I don't think they have to worry too much. But again, these budget too, like if you're gonna have all these movies come back to back, at least make them for cheap. Why is the Flash almost? I mean, it's not 250, but some people say it's 300. I don't really know. They're saying 220.
The Fast series, the Fast movie is like 340.
Right. The Indiana Jones though, I think is like what 290 or something. It's like close to 3. Why? I don't understand. Like,
what cost them so much in millions? Don't say it's the actors so much salary. Don't.
And I don't know. Maybe it's the visual effects and they're traveling around. But like for Indiana Jones, like are people going to spin Indiana Jones and say that the 60 the 60, or if it opens on par with Crystal Skull, like, is that acceptable for people? Because that's disastrous in my opinion for what they put in.
Oh, you're talking about
190.
the original movies? Degrassi?
Where? Yeah, they did. But if you think about it, those movies at the time, they didn't really have crossover. If you think about it, right? It's only now I think someone who likes Blade Runner probably likes the Thing, right? And ET2 came out on that day. Degrassi.
Those 3 movies come on the same day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know this is supposed to be Superman talk, but it's turned out to be
No, it was a good conversation. Good conversation.
Fun. It's fun. I wish other people could join in and tell their stories. George could tell us stories about New York. I wish.
Oh yeah, we need to hear more New York stories.
Because I know New York has stories. Of course, George has stories in New York. There's definitely like, if you, but yeah, I don't know if you have anything to promote. If you do, you go ahead.
No, I don't really have anything to promote right now. I'm kind of busy, so I'll figure out eventually.
Okay, so yeah, for my next show will be Saturday. Let's talk pop. Episode 40. It'll be a Secret Invasion episode 2 spoiler review.
You gotta tell me what's that like, because I'm not gonna watch it.
Well, you don't care about spoilers. You never do. Yeah, so yeah, check it out Saturday. I'm actually might be a late show on Saturday. Maybe like I don't know. No, it might be a late show Saturday. I don't think it'll be a 10 o'clock show, but it'll definitely be around evening time, like our time, like 6, 7, 8, or whatever that time.
Right.
Our time. But yeah, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment below or wherever. Tell me in the comments down below once the stream is over with your thoughts on his casting and who you think should be Lex Luthor, if it's Bill or Alex Skarsgård, or somebody just pops in your mind who you think should be a good Lex Luthor. Feel free to put in the comments. Thank you. Take care, guys.
Peace.